Good morning. It is 6:59. Here's what we're working on. The village of Bridgewater votes to become part of the town. Governor Cuomo coming to the Mohawk Valley again, this time to push a property tax proposal. And officials say that missing Malaysian airliner headed out toward the Indian Ocean.
The Giants are bringing back one wide receiver, and both New York baseball teams had wins.
My microphone. Okay, so we have coming up next hour, we're going to try to speak with Juanita Bass. Her dad was the first black mayor of Bridgewater many years ago. We'll talk to Juanita. You know her for spices. We'll do that as well. And Laney's Army, Kim Strong. We'll talk to her about the sentencing yesterday following a guilty plea that was all a big surprise.
WIBX News Time is 7:03. Your news is brought to you by Hammermill. Title MP paper now at Costco.com. Save up to $4 off select Hammermill title items. Offer valid March through March 30th, 2014 while supplies last. Hammermill, no worries. Governor Andrew Cuomo visited Mohawk Valley Community College to talk about property taxes. He says they are too high statewide, and that is hurting New York.
It's not the personal income tax. It's the property tax. Why are people leaving upstate New York? It's the property tax. Why do we have trouble attracting businesses to upstate New York? It's the property tax.
His consolidation plan calls for more than 10,000 local governments across the state to join entities like sewer, drainage, and garbage management to save residents money on their property taxes. He says more than 175 local officials support his plan. And to that end, the village of Bridgewater voting to dissolve and become part of the town. The vote 44 and 8 against. The vote will take effect in January 2015. A Utica woman arrested when she was caught with drugs at the Oneida County office building. According to Sheriff Rob Mashel, Lauren Zielinski was at the office building on personal business when security smelled a strong odor of marijuana. Zielinski was allegedly found to have 3 bags of marijuana and an undisclosed amount of cocaine in her handbag. The Camden man who pleaded guilty to starving a dog named Laney to death last year will spend weekends in jail for the next 6 months. 26-year-old Ian West was sentenced by Oneida County Court Judge Barry Donalty. West was also placed on probation for 5 years. Kim Strong, the founder of the animal rights group Laney's Army, says they are grateful that the judge and DA found it necessary to give him jail time.
Obviously, we would have liked more, but we're happy with that.
And discussions are now underway on what will eventually be a budget agreement for the state. Legislative leaders and the governor met for several hours behind closed doors yesterday. The sides will now have to reconcile the 3 budget packages on the table. They're the governor's and those passed by both the Assembly and Senate. The sides say they agree that the budget will be approved before the April 1st deadline. Your weather brought to you by CentralNewYork.com. Find up-to-date, easy-to-navigate local real estate listings at CentralNewYork.com. That's CentralNewYork.com.
Trying to fight off winter as a couple of systems will come through, bring the chance of rain and or snow. And as I mentioned yesterday morning, there's a chance that tomorrow morning could be a little slick in spots for the first day of spring with rain changing to snow, maybe a brief period of light accumulating snow. Rain showers this afternoon, though, 41, already milder this morning on a south-southeasterly breeze. Rain and snow overnight tonight, 37. Tomorrow, chance of rain and snow, temperatures holding in the middle 30s, up to an inch of slushy accumulation. Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950.
WIBX News Time 7:05, brought to you by Utica on Tap at the Stanley on Saturday, March 22nd, presented by Pizza Boys. Get your tickets now. Advance tickets are $30, $40 at the door. You can find out more on our website or at UticaOnTap.com. WIBX News Time 7:06, your next news and weather in 15 minutes and always online on Facebook, Twitter, and WIBX950.com.
In sports, the Knicks will try to stretch their winning streak to 7 games tonight at home against the Pacers. New York beat Milwaukee 115-94 on Saturday for its 6th straight win. The Giants are bringing back Mario Manningham. The Daily News reports the 27-year-old wide receiver has agreed to a 1-year deal with the Giants. Manningham has been battling knee injuries the last 2 years with the 49ers. He spent his 4 NFL seasons so far with the G-Men. Alfonso Soriano homered and drove in 4 runs as the Yankees beat the Red Sox 8-1 in Tampa. The Bees 0, the grounds crew 1. Andrew Brown singled in the winning run in the bottom of the 9th inning, lifting the Mets to a 5-4 win over the Tigers at Tradition Field. Eric Campbell hit a 2-run homer for the Mets. And your sports brought to you by Garmin. Only a Garmin Newbie with real directions tells you where to turn by pointing out easy-to-see landmarks like turn left after the gas station. Get a Garmin, the most trusted name in GPS.
I want to make sure that the time that I spend is going to be worthwhile.
News updates sent to you on Facebook and Twitter with WIBX 950, your news, talk, and sports leader. WIBX First News.
With Keeler in the morning.
WIBX at WIBX950.com.
All right, so Utica on tap. It is tickets are available at our website, WIBX950.com. I don't have my it's Pizza Boys that are sponsoring this. WIBX950.com is where you can get your tickets for the event, and it's $30 in advance. At the door, it'll be $40, so get in there and take advantage of it. It happens this Saturday at the Stanley Theater. $30 in advance, $40 at the door. You can go to UticaOnTap.com or through our website at WIBX950.com. On the phone line, although I believe we've lost him and he's calling back, Davey. There he is. Brandon Lang is the inspiration for the movie Two for the Money. Matthew McConaughey in that movie. And nobody picks the games like Brandon does on his website at BrandonLang.com. It's March Madness. Good morning, Brandon.
I tell you what, I've done a lot of NCAA tournament brackets, but I've never looked more forward to a tournament than this one right here. I think it's going to be fantastic.
First of all, before we get into the whole deal, have you ever seen a crumbling, like the crumbling of 25-0 Syracuse University?
No, but with that being said, I think they're fine.
Yeah. Interesting.
At least for the first two rounds, and then I think they're going to run it. They're going to run into Florida, that I think is just too much and a bad matchup for them. But I think they're going to quiet the critics in the first two rounds and get to the Sweet 16 like Jim always does, and then they're just going to run into a really good Florida team. I got a pretty boring bracket, to be honest with you. I mean, I got some 11 seeds winning like Nebraska. I got a 12 seed in NC State, who I had last night, winning. I'm pretty high on this basketball team. But other than that, I got a pretty boring bracket.
What any upsets out there you see on the horizon?
I'm gonna step out on a limb, and I come into this tournament having won 5 straight weeks in college basketball, and I'd say 95% of my winners are underdogs. So I'm gonna go out on a limb and say the biggest upset of the first round on Thursday, Friday is going to be Wofford, the Terriers, a 15 seed beating Michigan. I know it's crazy. But, you look at the brackets and you break down the brackets. I mean, yes, I think a 12 seed in North Dakota State can upset Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I think you get some noise there. But every year there's a 14 or a 15 that wins. And
Oops, we have officially lost him. You want to try him one more time, Davey? I don't know. He's got a problem with his phone because this is the second time that's happened. What do you think about Syracuse going into the Sweet 16?
Oh man!
Listen,
he's got a good point.
Listen,
though.
Here it is. It all depends what Syracuse shows up, which Syracuse team shows up. If they could turn things around, and Grant is really much more healthy than everybody has thought. I don't know. They really could. They really could go a long way if they played like the team earlier in the season.
My dad had an interesting point yesterday that I never really thought of. I don't know how right he is, but it got me thinking about how many minutes that C.J. Fair and Tyler Ennis and all these guys actually played. Instead of using some of the in those last few games, instead of trying to fight and claw and keep the undefeated streak alive, he maybe could have sat him a little bit more. I don't know. I don't know how right he is, but I don't know. It just got me to thinking.
It'd be one of those comments if you said that in a press conference. It'd be like, that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. Not to say anything there, but how Boeheim would react to that. Brandon, I think we have you back. Oh, we don't have him back. Is that us that's happening? Are we losing him, or what's going on?
It's just I put him on hold, and then he's gone.
Then he's gone. All right. Well, listen, we got him in there anyway. So.
Well, he got us some upset picks. So
you can go to BrandonLang.com. He's a former college football star, right?
Yes.
That after a career-ending injury, took a job handicapping football games and was in the inspiration for the movie Money, Two for the Money, with Matthew McConaughey and Al Pacino. I hear Davey in there getting some action. Let's see what happens. Jeff Manaske, by the way, if you're wondering, is on vacation, reporting weather in the 80s in sunny Florida Real nice.
We're so happy that he's doing that.
Which moves Andrew into the studio, and then Davey is the man. Davey has been board op, phone guy, or what have you for many, many shows on this program, on this radio station.
I think he also
including the Phil Stern
hosted
show
too,
many years ago. All right, I'm stalling. It doesn't look like we're getting anywhere though. Okay, so coming up, I am going to get into the this Sopranos thing. So the Sopranos season with that finale, that everybody walked away. You wanted to see something happen, and you really didn't. It all went to black, and it stayed that way for about. Davey, if we're not going to get him, don't worry about it. He may have a problem. So it all went to black. What does that mean? So I found this. A friend of mine sent me a link, which I'm going to put up into our show notes, which I think you have to, if you're a Sopranos fan, you have to watch. I'll go through it a little bit, some of the things, but you really have to sit and watch it. It talks about a guy that entered and into that diner. If you remember, it was in a diner scene. Tony Soprano was waiting there for his family to come in. His wife, or his son came in, then his wife came in, and then waiting on Meadow, the daughter, to come in. And it goes through scene by scene, and everybody that comes in, and it shows how the shots were, how it was shot, and what those shots were there for, leading you to believe what. And it also ties someone, what they were wearing, into the name of another episode, which ties the whole shooting that Tony Soprano was ultimately shot and killed, and the reason it went black is because it was all from his perspective. We'll get into that video, and I'll have it up on the website. Brandon, I'm going to talk quickly with you so I don't lose you again, but I believe we have you back here.
Got it.
BrandonLang.com, of course, and anything else that you can see that we were. I think when we lost you, we were talking about upsets.
I think Providence over North Carolina, up in your neck of the woods. I like this Providence team. But other than that, I think it holds true to form. In my two brackets, I have Florida winning it like everybody else. In my other bracket, I believe in history, and history repeats itself. Undefeated team out of the Missouri Valley Conference runs into Michigan State. Wichita State, Michigan State in the final. But I think Wichita State pulls off the win, stays undefeated, and wins the national championship.
Anybody you're surprised with where they ended up being seated? I mean, that was the talk over on Sunday night. Syracuse getting a 3 seed. They're playing like a team that should be in the NIT. What are your thoughts? Any surprises?
Wichita State. They got to go through Kentucky and Kansas State. And at the bottom of that bracket, you got Louisville licking their chops. I mean, they did them no favors whatsoever. I guess the committee doesn't believe in them. I do. I had them last year, made a lot of money with them last year. And here's one last note. The best team in college basketball against the spread this year was Wichita State.
Really? Yeah. What a season they had, huh?
And everybody.
All right, Brandon, thanks. It's BrandonLang.com. Good man. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, brother.
His site. You go there and you can sign up for some stuff and get some picks and all of that stuff. Christine in the newsroom right now at 7:18. Coming up, Laney's Army. Kim Strong talking about that sentencing yesterday. It was really a bit of a surprise. We'll dig into that coming up.
Good morning. It is 7:17. This news update brought to you by CentralNewYork.com. Find up-to-date, easy-to-navigate local real estate listings at CentralNewYork.com. The search corridor is being narrowed for Flight 370. Now, First Lady Michelle Obama and some other members of her family arriving in China today for a week-long tour. And 2 people are waking up millionaires today.
It's not me. Some showers developing this afternoon with the highs going up around 41 today. Tonight, 70% chance of rain and snow. It's going to get mixed in there, and it's not going to be pleasant overnight. And then more mixed precipitation tomorrow with rain and snow, high 37. We're talking about some single-digit lows coming into play by the end of the weekend. All over again, another cold front moving in. Right now, though, 28. Back with Kim Strong from Laney's Army. Coming up in 2 minutes in WIBX.
Good morning. Welcome to First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX 950. You can call into the studio at any time. Please turn down your radio and project clearly, and for God's sakes, get to the point. We love your input, so call us now at 736-0186.
Talking about earlier this morning, the Bees at the Yankee game yesterday down in Florida for the preseason game. a swarm of bees making their way in. It was just, it was actually a danger to the players. They had to clear the field, and the grounds crew went out and tried to swoo them away. How do you do that? I don't know. There may be a Winnie the Pooh episode out there. Winnie wearing maybe a Yankees hat or something.
I like the swooing.
Yeah, swooing them away. Okay, so we're going to be talking to Kim Strong, to Juanita Bass, by the way, in just a little bit. Juanita, of course, her dad was the first black mayor, I believe, in New York State, in where? None other than Bridgewater, which is no more. So we'll talk to Juanita coming up. Kim Strong on the line right now. Kim, good morning. So the word came down yesterday that this guy that was charged in the killing of this dog Laney, which inspired your group, made a surprise appearance in court yesterday.
Yes, he did.
And pleaded guilty. So let's go back. Originally, right, the judge said that it would be probation. It was all over. He pleaded guilty with probation. Then they changed that, right, after there was an investigation.
Correct.
He was then told that he would be getting, 5 months in jail? He could face 5 months
in jail.
6 months in jail. And so he entered a plea of not guilty. And then, surprisingly, without anybody really knowing this was going to happen, he showed up in court yesterday.
Correct.
So what happened?
I have no idea. That's very honest, but whatever, his lawyer changed his mind, and originally his lawyer had said in the news that he felt the felony charge was too much and that it should have been charged as a misdemeanor. That's what he had, said on, I believe, KTV.
Yeah.
And then suddenly they decided that it was better to take the plea deal of 6 months in jail on weekends.
So it's 5 or 6 months. I think it's 5 months, isn't it? And weekends he'll be spending in jail. So he did the pleaded guilty. Did so without you guys knowing. So you guys weren't there protesting, right?
Absolutely.
Well,
he doesn't like to face us.
So while this was a terrible, to go back on this story, it seems that there was some sort of a personal dispute between maybe a girlfriend or a wife or something, right? That's
Correct.
What we have heard, and that he was distraught. The dog was put outside waiting for the wife, the ex, to pick it up. It was never picked up, and the dog was really not taken care of and starved. Terrible thing. Seems like there were circumstances there going on emotionally, but you are not pleased. You're not completely pleased with the 5 months and weekend time.
Of course we're not pleased, but it's a compromise, which is what life is made of. So if this is not our DA's fault, this is our law's fault, which is why Justice for Laney will continue on to get the Consolidated Animal Crimes Bill passed.
I mean, I hate to say, but I think 5 months and going to jail on the weekends, being able to keep his job and keep income flowing, but he says every weekend he's got to go to jail. Is that really out of whack? I don't think that's that bad.
Well, you know what? It's not that bad. I mean, obviously, anyone who cares, for these animals, you always want the most.
Yeah.
But that's just not realistic.
So,
we know that.
So you're going to continue to push and try to get this bill passed and into law, and so this case has really inspired your group and has made you guys pretty active out there.
Well, yeah, we have been, because there's a lot of things that need to be changed, and seems like every week or two, more pops up. And there's more cases. One
thing you have to be happy with, though, is the fact that it was going to be just probation. And maybe it's your protest and your pressure that made people kind of rethink things. So maybe I would say that you walked away accomplishing something.
Oh, we absolutely walked away. I posted last night that, may she finally rest in peace.
Yeah. All right, Kim, thanks for the time, and good luck out there.
Thanks, Bill. You have a great day.
Okay, keep us posted. We mentioned last night in the village of Bridgewater, which is no more. The community voted, all 48 people who voted, I believe, right? Wasn't that the final vote?
40-8.
40-8 was the final tally, deciding to dissolve the village of Bridgewater. Juanita Bass, who we love. Juanita is, of course, you can get her spices all over the place, and her I used her rub that you can use on like fish and she has barbecue sauce, and, of course, ran a restaurant that's one of everybody's favorite. Everybody wishes was still around. Juanita, on the line now. Good morning.
Good morning, sweetheart.
This bittersweet for you? I mean...
oh, my heart is broken, darling. Oh.
Not even bittersweet, just bitter, it seems.
Well, not really bitter. You know,
yeah.
They have to do what they have to do. But, you know, I was born and raised in Bridgewater. Just grew up there, and maybe the kind of person I am today, just being in that community. But also my family, my dad, who made history as New York State's first black elected black mayor of the state in the town of Bridgewater. So I'm sure he would be turning over this morning and last night.
Yeah.
And about all this, yes.
And by the way, Juanita, do I have like 4 minutes with you? I know you got to head out to a meeting. Do I? Yeah,
I got to go to a meeting more.
Okay.
So, yeah, you got about 4 minutes, sweetie. I wish I could give you more. You know, I love you.
Well, we're going to have you in the studio, and this will be something to talk about. So we're going to take your 4 minutes. All right. I want to throw some quick things at you. Your dad, I mean, imagine, I used to drive down with my parents on Route 20, and the fields would be filled with people that came up from the South, blacks.
Exactly.
That were picking beans and picking vegetables. This was a time that this happened, 1970, what did we say it was?
1978, yes.
1978. This was a big, big deal.
It was a big, big deal. He was even recognized by President Nixon as, was in a letter from the White House, and it was a big, big deal, you know. It was great. I mean, he was a great man, so...
and, you talked about, I believe 73, Andrea, saying, you talked about, I've spoken to you about the fact that you grew up there, and being black at this time, growing up, you were treated very, very well. And you told me a story that when it wasn't until you came into the city, that you came into the Utica area, where you began to see...
I felt prejudice, yeah.
Prejudice.
Against myself and blacks, absolutely.
And isn't that interesting, in this little town, right up on Route 20, that you grew up, no prejudice whatsoever? You didn't feel it at all up there?
We didn't feel it at all. We felt very comfortable in the town of Bridgewater. When we kind of wandered outside the Bridgewater limits, the life was a little different. But in Bridgewater, it was great. It was great.
And, of course, today, things have changed. Well, they haven't changed, I guess. They've changed so much.
They've changed because we, as a black community, has made them change. We've changed ourselves, our way of thinking, how we feel about ourselves. You know, we were probably a little inferior complex going on back then, but right now, you know, I'm just, a lot of us, some of us, most of us feel that, you know, life is good and as good as we make it ourselves.
How did you feel when your dad became mayor? That had to be unbelievable.
Goodness, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I felt like he became president of the United States, and it was a big deal. Yeah, it was great. We were so proud of him. And everybody loved him. That's why he became a mayor of that town, because everybody loved him. It was a write-in vote. You know, he didn't run. He didn't campaign or run to become a mayor. He just woke up the next morning and was called and said, "Hey, Miss Mayor Holmes," you know.
Wow.
Write-in vote. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
So a little bit of sadness as you wake up today, and they have
you know why? You know why I'm sad, Bill? Because the home that he built there on Route 20 had become the last 10 years had become the village. The village town
offices.
hall, the meeting hall. You know.
Wow.
So now that home that he built, that I owned for a while and sold, is now going to be going up for sale, and that's sad. It's pretty sad because it's in a historical spot.
I wonder if it was to be purchased and maybe a restaurant open there. What would you call it?
Get out! Probably the White House berries too.
Yeah, how about that? Huh? A lot of people would love that one.
Oh, they sure would.
All right, go to your meeting, and thank you so much.
Okay, great talking to you, sweetheart.
We'll see you in studio.
Okay, baby. All right.
That
bye-bye.
is Juanita Bass, one of my favorite people in the world. I use her spices in her rub, and man, can she cook.
That is the largest number of times you've been called sweetheart by any guest on this show.
Well, listen, that's my name with Juanita. She's awesome. 7:30, let's throw out some birthdays here for you today. And by the way, VIP Club members, become a member, and you can win some really unbelievable, cool things. There are trips and TVs and all of this stuff. All you have to do is type in a word. A simple word like, which is our hometown of the day. Which one today?
Bridgewater.
Makes sense, doesn't it? Bridgewater, hometown of the day. So you type in Bridgewater. Go to our website and click on VIP Club, And you sign up. It's pretty simple, and you just type everything in. Each day we announce it. It's always put up into my show notes. My gripe of the day today, bees. Yep, Yankee game. And Newsmaker, Utica on Tap. You can get tickets for that event on Saturday at our website as well, WIBX950.com. Jacob Sipe in Clinton has a birthday today. We're going to give Jacob the cake from Florentine Pastry Shop on Bleecker Street in Utica. You can get a birthday on the radio by going to our website at WIBX950.com. News in 2 minutes on WIBX.
WIBX News Time is 7:33. Your news brought to you by General Alarm Company, providing security for your home or office to protect the things that matter most. Call today for a free estimate, 732-8284. Malaysia working now to narrow the search corridor for Flight 370. Nearly a week and a half after the flight vanished, the transport minister there says they are coordinating a high-level team that will travel to Beijing to update family members. Experts are looking at a flight simulator found at the pilot's home and are working to retrieve data that had been deleted from that. First Lady Michelle Obama arriving in China today for a week-long tour. She'll be accompanied by her daughters, Malia and Sasha, as well as her mother. The White House says the First Lady will talk about education at Peking University. At least 2 people waking up multimillionaires today. 2 winning tickets for Tuesday's Mega Millions drawing were sold in Florida and Maryland. The estimated jackpot was $400 million with a $223 million cash option. A Republican senator says school choice is the civil rights issue of the 21st century. That's according to Texas Senator Ted Cruz, telling a group of homeschoolers in Des Moines yesterday. The Tea Party favorite fueled rumors of a presidential run with his appearance in Iowa. A Connecticut woman who was brutally mauled by her friend's chimpanzee is now asking legislators for the right to sue the state. Charla Nash's request to sue for $150 million was denied by the state claims commissioner, but she is appealing to the legislature to overrule that decision and allow her lawsuit. And the White House giving Americans a glimpse at the consequences of global climate change. The administration announcing a web-based app that will let users see the effects of global warming in their own neighborhood. The outline tool will eventually use mapping to show homeowners and businesses what will happen as seas rise and droughts spread based on their home addresses. Your weather brought to you by Utica on Tap at the Stanley on Saturday, March 22nd, presented by Pizza Boys in New York Mills. Get your tickets now. Advance tickets are $30, $40 at the door. Find out more on our website or at uticaontap.com.
Trying to fight off winter as a couple of systems will come through, bring the chance of rain and or snow. And as I mentioned yesterday morning, there's a chance that tomorrow morning could be a little slick in spots for the first day of spring, with rain changing to snow, maybe a brief period of light accumulating snow. Rain showers this afternoon, though, 41. Already milder this morning on a south-southeasterly breeze. Rain and snow overnight tonight, 37. Tomorrow, chance of rain and snow. Temperatures holding in the middle 30s, up to an inch of slushy accumulation. Ray Stajic from the Weather Channel, WIBX 950.
The time brought to you by SIG Alert. If you're trapped in traffic again, you could have avoided it with SIG Alert. Before you go, visit SIGalert.com. If you're on the go, download the SIG Alert app, available for your iPhone. 27 in Ilion, 30 in Utica and Marcy. WIBX News Time, 7:36.
All right, coming right up, we're going to talk about the ending of Sopranos. Somebody has put up and it really investigates every scene from a theatrical standpoint. Every shot, every scene, every person that comes in, what they stand for. What really happened at the ending of Sopranos? That final scene that just went to black, what really happened? This is perfect. I'm going to not only go over it a little bit, but then I'll give you the video you can take off our show notes coming up. And a contest, Truth or Crap. One of my favorite contests in the world. We'll give you a chance to win dinner for 2 at Charlie's Pizza. 7:36, back in 2 minutes, following Fox Business News, which is next on WIBX.
WIBX First News with Keeler in the Morning.
Call the studio line right now at 736-0186. You can log on to our website at WIBX950.com. Now back to First News with Keeler in the Morning.
All right, good morning, 7:40. So I've promised that I would do this. A friend of mine sent me a link. It looks like a film student. I don't know where the credit is given here, but it looks like, I can even embed this. That's perfect. It looks like I'm going to embed it into our website coming up. It looks like a film student went through the ending of Sopranos, and this is entitled The Sopranos Ending Explained. Now, if you recall the ending of Sopranos, here I'm watching it right now here. This is full video. As Tony Soprano is walking into the diner. Now, it says here we have a diner with college football banners on the wall, All-American customers in the booths. This was a study of this final scene, and they study everything, every clue, every hint, every single thing, and what it might symbolize to come to the final conclusion of what really happened at the end of The Sopranos when it just went to black. Right? There was no shooting. There was no sound of a gunshot. No, nothing. It just went to black. And that's where we were left. It talks about customers in the booths, an all-American theme, a trucker in a USA cap, a group of Boy Scouts, a teenage couple, all kind of just fooling around in the booth. And we continue here as we're watching it on this. Is it continuing? It is, but I don't have any audio. Oh, they stopped the audio. Got it. Okay, now we're back. Tony Soprano sits down in the booth, looks around, representations of the American dream everywhere, and smack bang in the middle of it is the Soprano family. He's sitting. There's a little jukebox right next to the booth, if you remember. He's going through. Could it be maybe the song on the jukebox might have a clue? Probably not. Showing the diner going, "Who Will You Run To" by Heart was the song that showed up there on the jukebox. Now, this is very important. Tony sits virtually facing the entrance. And as people come in, you're seeing from Tony, this is very key here in this, you're seeing from Tony Soprano's vantage point as people enter. And am I describing this? I didn't want you guys to see this video so that I describe it properly. Am I describing? Okay. Are you following
yes.
me?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Because otherwise, if we're watching the video, it's hard to tell the story. You forget stuff.
Right.
Okay, so I want the people that are listening right now to have a feel for what's happening. So he's in the booth facing the door. But behind him is what? Does anybody remember? Davey, were you a big Sopranos fan? Behind him
was the bathroom?
Right,
okay.
That's going to be key here. As he's watching him, and now everybody comes in, the shot is from Tony's vantage point. So you're seeing what Tony is seeing as they walk through the door. Now, that will there's a guy, I'm going to go forward just a little bit here. There's some more. They're playing this song. Beep it. That was singing.
I think Carmela said something. Did she spill the salt or something?
No, I don't.
Am I hearing
maybe
things?
that happened. Anyway, I beeped it out just in case. Anyway, in the normal ending, the screen would simply fade to black, followed immediately by credits, right? But that didn't happen here. What happened is it went to black as Meadow was walking in. It went to black, and it stayed that way for like 10 seconds. So it wasn't just an ending where the credits rolled in. It was that black for 10 seconds that I think is significant. And what do you guys think that means, according to this? Anybody?
Well, according to that, is that he's not seeing anything else because he's dead.
Because he's dead, because he was shot. So it says, now there was a guy that came in, and he was wearing a members-only jacket. There was a guy that came in, and he walks past, and Tony, from his vantage point, saw him walking through the door. He then, at one point, walked behind Tony and went into the bathroom.
Right.
The camera then, from another vantage point, watches this guy walk all the way through the diner and walk into the bathroom. Set up. So now they're set. That becomes an important scene, right? He's wearing a members-only jacket. Now, can you do a Google search right now quickly and tell me what was the title in the final season of Sopranos? What was the title of the first episode?
Okay.
Oh.
Anybody?
Members only?
Members only. Actually, the title was, the guy in the final diner scene is listed in the cast as Man in Members Only Jacket. And Silvio Dante is shot in an episode earlier by a hitman with the same members only jacket. Interesting. And Tony really didn't get a look at him because he walked in at the same time that I think his wife was walking in. Pretty interesting.
So,
huh?
and I'm trying to remember this correctly because I've had this discussion with people.
You really have to watch it.
So the last shot was Meadow walking in.
I'm watching the scene right now. I'm watching this. Did Meadow walk in?
No, going up the steps.
Yes, she's going up the steps.
That was the last
I'm
shot.
watching right now. There's the man walking beside the booth. The wife, the son, and Tony there. You watch him walk into the bathroom. Very interesting.
Because if that's behind him, and then they cut to the shot of Meadow,
right?
If it was a true execution, he would have shot Tony from behind.
Well, and that's really what. And no, it was the door would have been. It would have been to the side,
to the right. Yeah. So there's like an
right.
L shape. So the entrance to the diner, and there's a counter, and then where they were sitting was the point on the L where the bathroom was. If that makes any sense.
Yes, and the bathroom was off to the side. Tony looks up when Meadow is walking in. Cut to black, and that's it.
Was it now? I know this may seem not important, but I think it is. Was it the last shot, Tony looking up, then Meadow, or Meadow, Tony looking up? I seem to remember it was he looked up, she walked up.
She doesn't walk in. She's walking up the steps from outside.
Right.
You see her begin to open the door, but you don't see her from Tony's vantage point. The minute Tony looks up, so you know she's walking through the door, Tony looks up, goes to black. And what they're saying is that it is the man in the members-only jacket, and the significance of the black is you're watching once again through many different shots during that scene. You're watching from Tony's vantage point. You're seeing what Tony is seeing, and the way they shot it was done that way. So what would happen if Tony is shot? You don't hear the bullet, they say, because it's instant. You would not hear the bullet. You would not hear the gun because the bullet's is going to hit your brain before you ever hear the sound. So therefore, you don't hear the sound. It goes right to black. That's the 10 seconds. And there it is. Tony is shot in there while his family watches on.
Wow, that's awful.
That's how it ended.
I finally have closure.
You do? I hope you do. This is awesome, though. If you're a fan of this, I probably did a pretty poor job of explaining it. I tried. But I'll put it up in my show notes at WIBX950.com, and you'll be able to see exactly what I'm talking about. And it literally has text in there that walks you through the whole thing. Really pretty stinking interesting. And I don't know who did this, but probably a film student or something. That's what I assume. I find it to be pretty accurate. Here's Christine with what's going on. I'm going to do a contest coming up next.
Good morning. It is 7:48. The governor visiting the Mohawk Valley once again yesterday to talk about property taxes this time. The village of Bridgewater votes itself out of existence, and a Rome woman arrested for allegedly bringing meth into the Oneida County Jail.
Forecast some showers today, developing in the afternoon. High getting up to about 40 degrees, otherwise cloudy. Tonight, 70% chance of rain mixing with snow, low around mid-30s. And then tomorrow, rain and snow with a high of 37. Currently, we're at 29 degrees to start things off on the moderate side here today, on the mild side. Coming up, we're back here with a bit of a contest. Truth or crap? Give you a chance to win dinner for two at Charlie's Pizza in 2 minutes on WIBX. Hey, I'm going to give you a chance to win something pretty easy. I'm just going to give you a statement. You tell me whether it's true or not. You give 5 of these or so, and you'll win. Take Davey. Let's do caller number. What do you think, Davey? In there, caller number
7.
So difficult to come up with. Oh, we're going to go with 7. Caller 7 right now. It's 736-0186. We'll do a nice gift card over at Charlie's Pizza. 736-0186. Caller 7. Dial right now to win. This is going to be pretty simple. And I'll take them on the air, Davey. Okay. Let's talk about New York Sash and their bathrooms. You can have a brand new bathroom in just 2 days. In some cases, under 2 days. They use an acrylic bath system. It's a bath liner and wall system that fits exactly over your existing tub. Bath liners are a great lower-cost alternative to tearing out your old tub and walls because you don't have to tear out all that stuff. And in addition, you don't have to mess with the piping and the plumbing and all of that. They have on display in their showroom the entire system, and you can see it in all the different styles and really whatever you're looking for. Maybe you want to turn your tub into a walk-in shower. Maybe you need grab bars. They do all of it. Tub-to-shower conversions. All of it is done, and you can do it in under 2 days at New York Sash. You can go to their website, NewYorkSash.com, 624-7344, or go over to their showroom and take a look at this. It'll change your bathroom, and in 2 days, that is unheard of. 349 Oriskany Boulevard in Whitesboro is where you'll find the showroom. It is New York Sash. 7:54. I don't have a lot of time, but I want to squeeze this in here. So stay with me and I'll be All right, who's our caller there? I have a little contest. It is Dwayne. Dwayne on the line here right now. Good morning, Dwayne. Good morning. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good, man. I'm going to throw off some questions. You're just going to tell me truth or crap. Is this real or is it not real? Is it truth or crap? Are you ready?
Ready.
Here we go, number one. The Maine is the closest U.S. state to Africa.
Crap.
That's actually true. What was that again? Maine is the closest U.S. state to Africa. I'll get into explain that next hour. Anne Frank, Martin Luther King Jr., and Barbara Walters were born in the same year, 1929.
True.
That is true. He has 2 right. How many does he need again, Andrew?
3.
He needs 6.
6, yes.
6, yeah. Thank you. Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than she did to the building of the Great Pyramids.
True.
That is true. The surface of Russia, the country Russia, is actually larger than the area of Pluto.
Crap.
What's that again?
Crap.
What's that again?
True.
That is true. That is true. It's amazing how you're pulling this off, Dwayne. You are a wealth of knowledge. And the last one, you know the hippopotamus?
Yeah.
Of course, a female hippopotamus gives milk just like a cow would. A hippopotamus milk, hippo milk, is actually pink. True or false?
True.
You're amazing, Dwayne. Yes, it's true. All right, man. Congratulations. Hold on tight. We'll give you dinner over at Charlie's, all right?
Cool,
Maine is the closest U.S. state to Africa. We'll dig into that because you wouldn't think that's possible, right? You wouldn't think that's true.
I never knew hippo milk was pink.
I never knew that either.
Learning so much this morning.
Yeah, I am a wealth of knowledge. Actually, I should say Dwayne is. Dwayne, a wealth of knowledge. Interesting how all of them were true. Got a break. News, top of the hour, and we're going to talk some beer coming up next hour in WIBX.
WIBX and WIBX950.com.